Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to another episode in Zooster by Night of the Living World of Darkness Google On Air Hangouts. So tonight we are going to be visiting the pack priest of the Fireflies pack, who is taking on the prospective acolyte, Alastair, for a little bit of stalking, and we'll see where the night leads them. So the two of them are traveling across the yards late at night on Thanksgiving night in the city of Zooster. So Alastair, tell me about this former associate of yours that we were visiting this evening.
This individual, he's a man named Eric Johnson. He made quite a lot of success for himself in property development, and he lives just outside the city in the suburbs sort of area. Nice house, family, 2.4 kids type of thing. Really made a success for himself, and I dealt with a lot of his investments in my former life as a stockbroker. But he sits on a couple of boards of companies in the city, so he could be a good person to get on side and get under our control.
All right. Sounds like a good idea. And so you said 2.5 kids kind of thing. So
Yeah.
how much potential collateral damage are we looking at for visiting him at home tonight?
Well, he'll have his family there. Don't think he has any brothers and sisters. Maybe he's got a parent there, I don't know. Quite likely. So we're looking at a family, maximum risk there.
Okay. Then how sneaky are we going to be to take it in? How sneaky can you be to begin with?
I'm not particularly good at being sneaky whatsoever. However, I'm sure I can come up with some lie on the spot to explain my disappearance. Obviously, I've just vanished off the map for several weeks. If I can get in there and get one-on-one with him, I'm sure that. I mean, can you follow us unseen then?
I can be unseen. I do have that knack, especially if you're going to talk your way in through the front door, if we're not going to try to sneak in through windows or anything.
Yeah.
Then yes, I will observe and provide some aloof backup. And yeah, let's see how. Sorry?
I should be able to get him by himself, and then intimidating him should be relatively easy. To be honest.
All right.
I managed to get them to do what I wanted to before, so.
Are you thinking that your words and threats will be strong enough to withhold his allegiance?
I think so. If we can make it clear, if you can appear at a theatrically appropriate time, just to demonstrate that we can get into his house undetected. You know, his children aren't safe. All we want is a civilized arrangement with him of doing what we say. and we're not going to demand something that would destroy him. So I can't imagine it will be too difficult, really, to get him on site.
All right. That sounds like a good plan to start with.
Mm-hmm.
So, Alastair, I want you to pay attention, or try to pay attention if you can.
Yeah.
I don't think you have the gift of observation, but I think it would be important for you to learn a little bit about how to hide within the shadows and be unobserved when people don't want to notice you.
Mm-hmm. That does sound exceptionally useful. If I can control shadows to hide within them.
Well then, if that is the case, then how about, as I teach you how to hide in the shadows, maybe you could teach me how to create the shadows to hide in.
That seems...
They both are common traits amongst our pack mates, and I think if we kind of keep that strength amongst all of us, it would probably be beneficial.
That seems perfectly reasonable.
Okay. He stops the stalking for a moment and starts rolling up his sleeve. Then, as we try to give each other guidance, it is the power in our blood that will help us get there. You must drink of my soul, and I shall drink of yours. And the whispers that I hear from you afterwards will help guide me in being able to channel the darkness. And he offers his arm out to you.
Okay. And I take it and take a drink.
And as you do so, then he will lean in and he will likewise bite on you to sip from you as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And then he'll pull off when you pull off.
Yeah, that seems. So is that how it works? I mean, do you have to teach me this art, or do I just kind of go up to?
Yes, this is the good starting point for us to teach and learn these arts, and then try to, maybe as we approach the house, I want you to try to focus your blood as you try to be as unobservable as possible upon the approach.
Okay.
Channel it and try to feel the power flow to where it needs to be.
Right.
Think about a time when something terrible happened. Hold on to a childhood memory of when you were trying to avoid your father's backhand and making yourself as small as possible. Focus on that memory of fear and let it guide you the direction you need to go.
Okay. Okay.
So you can make I'm guessing it would be a wit stealth roll.
Yep. 1 sec. Wit stealth.
So you're able to try to make yourself a little less observed.
Mm-hmm.
And I disappear from sight as I fall in behind you.
Um, yeah, I guess if you've disappeared, I what I do is I sort of rough myself, rough myself up a bit, use my clothes, pick up some mud, put that on my face, um, before going up to the door and frantically knocking at it.
Okay. Do I make a manipulation subterfuge to see how convincing you've got your quick little disguise there?
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be too difficult because you probably do look like shit, but no offense, but
He probably looks much better if he's managed like recent. Well, yeah, he'll actually spend like a significant amount of time each night, trying to get himself ready without a mirror. He regards himself as having taken the radical role if he no longer wears a tie because he can't get it straight.
it depends how familiar you are with it. If you tie a lot of ties, you don't even need to look at yourself in the mirror, so that's probably the easiest part.
Yeah, so I think my disguise will work, I'm guessing.
It definitely looks like it. Okay. And you knock at the door, and after a few people looking there, poking their faces out the window at you, Eric is the one that opens the door.
Please, Eric, help! Help, please! I've just managed to escape. Just let me in. I need to talk to you.
Alastair, is that you?
Yes, yeah, please. I don't know. I've just got away. Just let me in. I can explain what's going on. You wouldn't believe what's happening.
Yeah. By all means, come in, come in. And he's like looking over your shoulder, like he's trying to see what if there's anything like in his driveway or down the street that you seem to like if you've got a car there. And then seems to unconsciously pause a little bit after you've come in before he closes the door behind you.
Right. I'm so sorry to disturb you. I mean, I know it's Thanksgiving. Can we just go and just talk in the study or something? It'll just be a moment, and then I can leave. It's seriously. I just need to tell you what's happening and arrange for a way out of here. Okay?
Yeah, just yeah, for sure, Alastair. The study's down that way. He goes and looks towards the living room, and he's like, "Hon, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. You guys continue watching the movie. A bit of an emergency. I'll try to explain later."
Yeah.
And then he follows you into the study.
Okay.
Do you need a whiskey or something, man? Like you look pretty stressed.
I sit down. Well, some strange things have been happening this previous night, but that's not why I'm here. And I'm going to just spend the point of blood and activate Shadow's Play to make myself more ominous and give myself the bonus.
He kind of stumbles a little bit. He was heading towards his drink cabinet, and then just kind of stops in his tracks and doesn't. He's like, "What?"
Sit down.
Make your.
And I'm going to actually. It's more intimidating. I'm actually going to use use one of the shadows to start sort of suffocating him.
So you're gonna create the shadows on him?
Well, no, it's yeah. You just move the shadows towards them, and it sort of confuses people and scares them, and they lose a die from stamina pools. But I don't think you can kill someone. You can't kill someone with shadow play, I don't think. No, you can't. Sit down. I have a proposition to you for you tonight.
He sits down. He looks over at the doorway, but sits down and is looking at you a little wide-eyed.
I need a favor, and it's not entirely an optional favor. I found out these past few nights that there was more to the world than I ever thought possible. Terrible and wonderful things have happened, often at the same time. However, I do have a slight problem now. I am on the missing persons register, and it's helpful to stay that way. So what I need you to do, Eric, is funnel money and use your positions on boards of various companies and the such like to, when I or my associate behind you come and speak to you, make sure things move in the way we wish. If you turn around, you'll see my associate who followed me in.
He cautiously he's looking over his shoulder, like kind of is thinking you're trying to distract him because he didn't see anyone come in. And a little bit paler as he turns back.
As I'm sure you can see, we know where you live. As I'm sure you can witness, we can do remarkably strange things. No door has been unlocked, no window unbarred or broken. We can just come here when we want. Work with us, and as I'm sure my associate can confirm, we will be generous. But we need you to do exactly what we say from here on out.
I don't really know what to say.
Just say this. And now I'm going to move the shadows to me, and lean forward. Just say yes.
Okay. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I?
Excellent. I'm so happy to see that, to hear that. Seth, how should we celebrate this momentous occasion?
Well, probably how do we know that Eric is really going to listen to you and just run off to the police or do something foolish like have a gun with him next time that he visits with you?
That's true. How can we take from you that would guarantee such a thing? What can we take from you that would stop us coming in here and...
No, I don't want any trouble. Like, my family's in the next room, guys. Like, I don't just leave them alone. I'll do like what do you want? Like, I mean, you know where I live, you know where I work. It's not like I can hide. And like, I really don't. Like, I mean, you want frick, like, what? Like, tell me, like, what? Like, I'll whatever. just.
All we want is, I have your phone number. If you give it to my associate here, and when we call, you do what we ask. It's very simple. Also, if you can arrange for an account, a bank account, to be set up in some vague John Smith name, and ensure we have access to it and ensure that money ends up in that account when we need it.
Well, Alastair, you know how difficult it is to generate a slush fund like that without it being traceable and without causing suspicions. Like, if I get audited, like, it's...
I have more than enough instruction.
And
Alastair begins writing down a load of details on basically how to begin doing something like that. I have, like, knowledge 4 in finance.
Oh, excellent. So, yeah, you can make your be wits finance, I would assume, because you have to kind of try to think of a way around some of the loopholes.
What difficulty?
We got the numbers there. I'd say you have at least one success. If the difficulty is 7, because it won't probably be easy, then the 8 would give you a success. And then plus that's just your instructions with his ability to act it out. As you're writing down those instructions, Seth will approach the chair that Eric is sitting in, and don't worry, we know what we're doing. We know what we're talking about. If you follow these instructions, you won't have anything to worry about. And he holds his hand out for offering what appears to be a handshake as Eric kind of shakingly reaches his hand out. Seth grabs his hand and kind of pulls the man out of the chair right up so that they're right face to face. And then he says, "It takes more than a handshake, though, to seal this kind of deal." And you can see Seth kind of extend his tongue a little bit as he bites it, and then forces, via kiss, blood into Eric before letting go. Eric seems weirded out and freaking out at first, but as he lets go of Seth's embrace and goes back to sit down, he seems a little bit calmer than he was prior to sealing the deal.
Excellent. So, Eric, what you'll tell your family is you're calling a cab for me. Don't worry, we can make our own way, but you can say that you call a cab, but I just had to leave, and say that some demons caught up with me or whatever, and we'll be in touch, and hopefully your family will never see me again. I'm sure that's what you want.
Yeah, I'll do, if this is what it takes, then I will do that for sure. As long as I follow these instructions, you won't come back to my house?
Not unless we have to.
Okay. All right. I'll do my best. I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen. I won't just do my best. Just leave my family, please.
Excellent.
He gets up and goes over to the landline phone, and then he checks his pocket and pulls out his cell phone to look up the number for a cab company.
At which point I loudly say, no, don't worry, I've imposed too much on your time. Thank you so much for everything. I can go from here. Don't worry. And leave.
Okay. Yeah, Seth once again vanishes from other sites, though Eric will still see him because he has drawn quite a bit of attention to himself.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be... Oh, you know that I'm following you out as we're walking along. Eric's watching us go to leave. Seth does make a point to stop in the doorway to the living area and look in the room, and he's like, that's an interesting choice for a movie. And then he looks back at Eric and once again bares his fangs and then turns around and continues to follow you. So as we're outside. So Alastair, do you think that will be successful?
I think he'll do what he's told, provided we don't ask him to do anything too drastic too soon. He's a man whose position is important to him. He's a man whose family is important to him. Can't jeopardize one more than the other, really.
No, for sure. The act of giving him our blood will help cement his allegiance.
Okay.
Do you wish him to be your pet?
I think I would. I think it will also...
Once you are blooded, I will allow you to have him as a pet.
Excellent. Many thanks.
But until then, technically, you're my pet as well. So most people don't buy pets for pets. So I think it was very effective, but the blood will definitely be needed to seal the deal. And once he is fully enraptured into listening to us, then I think we'll get a little bit more leeway. And it might be prudent to reward him from time to time.
I couldn't agree more.
Excellent. So, yeah.
To provide our group through proxies in building up that you lose when people think you're dead. I think I can, by making that available to the group as a whole, we should be able to do great things together.
Yes. So you will need to revisit him over the next 3 nights to continue feeding him.
Okay.
And then that will cement his allegiance.
Okay.
And yeah, what shall we do next then?
So we have some ability to channel funds. Do you have a recommendation? Do you think we need more people like this?
Well, I think it wouldn't hurt to that one lawyer that we used to use from time to time. I can't remember his name. You know the guy I'm thinking about. Always wore a suit.
I don't, but Alastair will have a lawyer in his address book. He should definitely be able to help with this, especially if we get someone slightly prestigious. Alastair takes a notebook out of his pocket and starts leafing through it. Alice Chu.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Girl. Alice.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes. She's got an apartment in town. Not that far from myself.
Well then, let's maybe pay her a visit as well on our way to your place or apartment. She's probably elsewhere tonight for Thanksgiving supper.
Yes, that's true.
All right. So let's maybe try her on a different night.
Yeah.
And let's continue with some basic hiding techniques. And will try to see what I can do with your guidance. I saw how you played with the shadows.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can similarly create shadows here. Because I saw you do it. It can't be that hard. Not that you're not able of doing difficult things. That's not what I meant by that comment.
It's a matter, so I've been shown, of thinking of the shadow as on more than one level. And really feeling its almost lack of substance and molding it almost like a potter.
Okay. So I'm going to focus, and I'm going to spend a point of blood just because there's nothing else I can do. I'm going to try to focus and channel as I'm repeating what you're saying about focusing and trying to get the shadows to work and trying to psych myself up. And as I'm doing that and focusing with all my might, I need to find out what would be the sum of your perception and self-control. I'm trying to create your perception and self-control.
5.
Okay, because I am going to be doing the closest thing I can to creating scary shadows. And instead of creating scary shadows, you will have a haunting effect when you're traveling alone for a week.
Excellent.
So shadows don't appear, but out of the corner of your eye, it almost looks like maybe I did something.
The shadows are moving anyway. Excellent.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're not necessarily dropped it. Well, it'll probably take a little bit more focus in trying. So, and then, yes, are you going back to your apartment this evening, or are you going to come and join at the Pack Haven?
I think I will go to this Pack Haven. Really, I've not managed to come by there yet, so I think it would be good to see it.
Excellent. I know that Seth and KK have some plans. They wanted to talk to you about getting your assistance in trying out some weapons that they're designing, so we can introduce us to them and see how that goes.
Yeah, these ingenious weapons.
Yeah, it's the Seth came up with the idea, but KK's more of the creative type to do it. So, and they want us to test it out. So we'll see about introducing. So Seth will lead the real Alastair with him back towards their Pack Haven.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we can end scene there since the rest of the pack are not here to join us.
Yeah.
So thank you for those that watched as Alastair and Seth started to build a little bit of influence, or attempting to build some influence and whatnot in the mortals of Zooster. We will see whether that brings weal or woe to the Kine and the Canites alike. So thank you for watching, and have a good evening.